Hey David,
Hi there, Ian.
Good to see you. Uber boss.
I think all we need now is the candidate.
Yeah, right, and how they exponentially more of their workers and COVID, right?
It's 11 o'clock.
Hi, everybody. And welcome. Thank you. Welcome to the official campaign kickoff for Jessica Del Cruz for Congress. Thank you all for being here today and showing your support for Jessica. At this time, would you please make sure that your phones are on silent? In a moment, Senator Del Cruz will say a few words before she visits businesses across the district. Afterwards, she'll take some questions. Now, I'd like to introduce Freddie Pascarelli, who would like to say a few words about Jessica.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us. On behalf of the Del Cruz campaign, I'd like to thank 39 West, Steve, and Carlos for opening the doors to us. You all for taking time out of your busy day and joining us. And of course, all those who aren't here that support Jessica. And we hope they can get a copy of this later on in the day. For those of you who don't know me, excuse me. Sorry. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Freddie Pascarelli. And I've been engaged in politics since before I was eligible to vote, which is a long time ago. And my last major role was in the Save Our State campaign, where I acted as political director. And then since then, some of the more notable candidates that you may be familiar with was Buddy Cianci. I worked on 5 of his races, including one gubernatorial race. Ron Makeley, Kevin Vigilante for Congress, John Laughlin for Congress, and Governor Don Cacciari, to name a few. My 15 minutes of fame happened in 1990, and that was getting Buddy Cianci's nomination papers in on time for his mayoral bid. That only came out to about 8 minutes. So Jessica, thank you for letting me get a few more minutes to make up for that 15 minutes. As I mentioned earlier, I worked with former Governor Don Carcieri in his first gubernatorial race. And I see many similarities between Jessica and the governor. His first candidacy, he became an outsider running for a statewide office. His newness, his freshness brought a breath of life to the Republican Party. They share many similarities. Today, Jessica is a person that is unapologetic and has firm beliefs in her views. She is not afraid to take a stand on those issues that she believes strongly in. Governor Carcieri was the same. They both brought a sense of purity to their candidacies. So, and one thing that I always admired about Governor Carcieri, and I see that in Senator Jessica, is she can handle complex issues with common sense solutions. Something that career politicians just lost touch with today. She is also a proven winner. In 2018, she turned a blue seat red in what was probably the worst year in 20 years for Republicans. She won that seat, and then in 2020, she actually increased her constituency, her vote, by getting 65% of the vote, which gave proof that she did a fabulous job for her constituency. She's the only candidate that has real growth potential in this race. People that know her just are so excited, as you can see here in this room today. I came to know Jessica by a colleague of hers in the Senate, and I won't say his name, he's a Democrat. And he called me one day and said, "Freddie, you have to meet this senator from Burrillville. She's dynamic, she's a fresh new face, she's everything you stand for." I later followed her on Facebook and went to a fundraiser, and we became very close friends. Both her family and our family, my family, are very close today. And I can tell you that she is laser focused on her work. Her dedication is incredible. We joke, those of us that are working with her, she just is so focused on her work, we can't really get any time. This campaign can't get much time from her. But because she's so focused on what she's doing down at the Senate. I can tell you that I am so proud to be up here and have the opportunity to introduce the next Congresswoman from District 2, Senator Jessica Dela Cruz.
Really good group of good-looking people behind me.
Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Freddie, for that kind introduction. I appreciate it very much. I just want to recognize a couple of people here today. There's Councilman Steve Arnold and Representative Mike Chippendale here today. Thank you for coming, taking time out of your day. Before I get started, my son Jonathan had one request, and he wanted to let everyone know that he made this podium. He really did. He put it together. He put it together yesterday for me, and I think he did a great job, so I know it's going to hold up. I want to thank you all for being here today, and I especially want to thank my family. My husband David, his support is invaluable, and my 3 sons, David, Jonathan, and Benjamin, who are always cheering me on. Our hosts, Carlos and Steve, owners of this fantastic restaurant, 39 West, and everyone who took time out of their busy schedules to support me today as I kick off this exciting run. Exciting today because I'm here to announce that I'm running for Congress to represent Rhode Island's 2nd District. those who don't know me, my name is Jessica Dela Cruz. I'm a lifelong Rhode Islander, a proud daughter of Portuguese immigrants, a working mom to 3 amazing boys, and a state senator representing the communities of Burrillville, Gloucester, and North Smithfield. I'm running because after the 2020 election, Joe Biden promised us moderation and unity. But instead, we got economic chaos and increasing division. I'm running because as a state senator, every single day my inbox is filled with messages from Rhode Islanders who are struggling to feed their families, to put gas in their vehicles, to pay their bills, and make ends meet. Rhode Islanders need relief now. Rhode Islanders need change now. I'm running because when I look at the field of candidates vying for this seat, I see a bunch of millionaires and career politicians who are completely out of touch with the pain Rhode Islanders are facing and experiencing right now. As a mother of 3 young children who has spent the last 2 years juggling work, distance learning, helping my neighbors in need, and balancing an increasingly tight household budget, I understand that pain all too well. I've represented Northern Rhode Island in the Senate for the past 4 years, and people know me as a straight-talking, common-sense legislator who tackles problems head-on to get the work done. I will take the same attitude to Washington to fight for Rhode Island and to look out for their best interests, not for the interests of career politicians or to be a rubber stamp on an agenda that doesn't put Rhode Islanders first and foremost. I believe that government has a responsibility to protect our most vulnerable, but I also know that government needs to live within its means. I believe we need to support our police instead of defunding them. I believe that every child deserves an excellent education, and I believe that we can beat inflation and lower the price of gas with common sense public policies like expanding domestic energy production and stopping wasteful spending.
Yep.
I wasn't really political until I had children. I voted, I paid taxes, and as a daughter of immigrants, I knew that America was such a special place. My parents left their families and their culture behind to come here for a chance at a better life. And we have been so grateful to this country. But politics was something I saw on television or I read about in the newspaper. All that changed when I had my oldest son. For the first time, I saw how government affects every part of a family's life. When I researched the school my son was going to attend, I realized it was failing and wouldn't prepare him for success. And like many families, I couldn't afford to send him to private school. Still, I figured there must be some way for him to go to a better school. Wasn't that what my taxes were all for? Frustrated by my lack of options, I homeschooled my son until we could move into a district that offered him a better education. The decision that we made was a luxury one, but I'm thankful every day that we could do it. But so many families have no choice but to send their child to a failing school. So I got involved into politics to fight not only for my family, but for all of our families. And it's not just about education, but it's all the issues where we're let down by politicians who simply don't care about us. We see that today when we have 10% inflation, skyrocketing gas prices, empty grocery shelves, and persistent supply chain issues that our current leaders have no plan to fix. These are issues that matter to Rhode Island families, but so many of our political class are insulated by those effects, not me. With 3 busy children, I'm filling up my gas tank at least once a week, so I know what it means when the gas costs $2 a gallon versus $4. And it's not just gasoline. Every week when I shop for groceries, I'm startled by the costs that just keep going up and up. How are families supposed to keep up? This is not some academic exercise. Rhode Island families are facing tough decisions on what to cut from their shopping lists right now. Rhode Islanders need change right now. I know how to fight for changes that make a difference in people's lives. As a state senator, I fought against the closure of Burrillville's Zambrano Hospital, an essential lifeline that provides long-term care to Rhode Island's most vulnerable patients that was on the brink of closure because an expensive consulting firm hired by then-Governor Raimondo said it was not efficient enough to keep open. I worked across the aisle with Democrats to save the hospital, this vital hospital, for the patients and families who depend on it. I brought together hospital workers, patients, families, advocacy groups, unions, all to speak in one voice about the importance of Zambrano Hospital, and thankfully, we were heard. This year, the new state budget, funds have been allocated to make sure that the hospital remains open, and that patients get the care they deserve. That's the kind of determination and leadership I will bring to Congress. This election is our chance to make change, to send a message to Washington by sending a regular working mom to Congress to represent regular working people. In asking for your vote, I promise I won't forget who I am, where I come from, and who I represent. That's my promise. All right, so as Rhonda said, I will be taking a few questions before heading out and meeting some businesses across the district. Brian.
Senator, Donald Trump is a big presence in national politics. Do you want or would you want his endorsement?
I'm not seeking any endorsements, just the endorsement of the people in District 2.
Mayor Fung's self-description is as someone who is a effective and successful mayor of Cranston over a long tenure. What makes you more qualified than him?
I think that the people of District 2 will decide who is best qualified for the position, but as a state senator, I have represented District 23 well, and my constituency have been excited to support me as I run for Congress and represent them on a larger scale.
Senator, someone on stage has a hat that says, I identify as non-binary. Do you welcome non-binary support? And what's your message to anybody who's non-binary or trans?
That's a great question. As a senator, I've never discriminated against anyone, and simple as that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
How do you plan on, if you will, explaining to Rhode Islanders the direct connection between this inflationary spiral we're in and the policies of a failed federal government?
I'm sorry, I didn't catch the first question. Your first part of the question. Can you say that again?
How do you plan on explaining to Rhode Islanders the connection between failed Washington policies and this inflationary spiral we find ourselves in as well?
Yeah, the inflationary spiral is because we have so much money in the economy, and of course, we have the gas prices are out of control because some of our I don't know why I'm a little nervous, but I'm not very accustomed to talking to tons of people, even though I do talk in front of the Senate, and I know that people watch me. But again, my regular person really is who I am. I represent regular people. In Congress, they're just, I feel out of touch, and they don't understand what regular Rhode Islanders are going through when it comes to going to the grocery store, paying for gas, heating their homes. The costs are just out of control at this point. I've had constituents reach out that they can't fill up their oil tank because to heat their home because they simply can't afford it. And they need someone in Washington that understands exactly what they're going through. And I am that person.
Yeah. Last question.
Senator, where are you on daylight savings time?
That's a hot topic issue. I know that Republicans and Democrats are for and against it, but I think we should just keep it as is.
You recently proposed that we need to be energy independent in a tweet. What specific ideas do you have to do that, and how soon do you think that could happen? How would you implement that if you were in Washington, D.C.?
Yeah, working across party lines. That's what I've done in the state Senate, and that's what I will continue to do. Thank you so much.
Any specific
guys.
ideas, though, on that, as far as energy independence? Should we be drilling more or shifting to a
Sure.
blue economy, anything of that sort?
Sure, last question. So when it comes to energy, we need to... Oh, sure, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, thank you. When it comes to energy independence, there is no industrialized nation that does not use oil and gas. So are we at a point where we can use renewable energies exclusively? No, we're not. And yes, we do need to develop energy sources here in this country, and that includes in renewables, but we also still need to use, realistically, we still need to use gas and oil. So thank you so much. Have a great day.
Who is it?
Yeah, maybe we can.
Gas station and some other...
Where's the first one?
I think the first one is Heritage Gunny Point, and then we have a gas station and a couple of other small businesses. Yeah, yeah. Who's the scheduler for me? Who set up the? I'm asking this guy right here. Who's the? I set up the. You did? Okay, so he knows where I'm
Heritage,
going.
is that the first place?
The first one is Heritage
What's that?
Bacon Station.
for the answer.
So standing room only crowd filing out. Phenomenally successful opening to what's going to be a brutally fought campaign across Rhode Island. The media here in mass sense. We're going to hang out for just a little while longer. Not sure if there's going to be a sidebar. Again, folks, if you can take a moment, it's the mantra of all independent media. Take a moment to like facebook.com/The Coalition Radio. If you can find our YouTube page, we'd love a subscription to that. This is a campaign that we're going to be, following. Here at the Coalition, we like to say we attend the opening of an envelope. Well, this is a pretty important envelope for Rhode Island. You've got three distinct visions taking place here. And two candidates, Bob Lancia and Jessica de la Cruz, who really evoke Republican values. Now, of course, we're going to be following the Democratic campaigns as well, but we're here today. So it's important that Mr. Lancia and Ms. de la Cruz get the airtime and the opportunity to showcase their ideas as importantly as possible. As far as the fun campaign, oh well. So looks like that's it for today. We're going to sign out. We'll be back on live later on tonight. Hey, listen, tonight, 7 o'clock, Ramp, Real Access Motivates Progress, Tina Peterson. 8:15 or so, 8:30 really, Chaz Kalenda, attorney at law. We'll be talking about a lot of issues. So join us tonight. And as a final announcement, you're going to see it online shortly. We're going to be doing putting up online in just a few minutes, a T-shirt fundraiser for the folks in the Ukraine. Proceeds from each shirt to go to benefit Doctors Without Borders. So stay tuned, and if you could participate in that, we, the people and people at Doctors Without Borders, would be grateful. Thanks. We'll be in touch. See you soon.